been a long day. Quick little story time before we start the video, but went to get my hair cut. The guy was very rude and didn't really talk to me or try to make conversation with me at all, which you don't have to. But when you rip my piercing out of my ear, then we have a problem. Just a little bit. He was combing my hair quite violently and he rips it out, and thought he had just kind of tugged it at first. But then I put my hand up there and I'm like, oh, there's nothing fucking there at all. There's nothing there. And I pull my hand away and there's blood on my hand. So he ripped it completely out the back and I'm bleeding, and he's like, did I get you? I'm like, yeah, I had a piercing and it's gone. He's like, oh, was it new? I'm like, kinda not really. It's a couple months old, like a few months old. Whether or not it's new is kind of irrelevant if you yank it out of my ear. I'm just saying, like, I don't care if it's 2 months old or 2 years old. You yank a piercing out of the ear, you're gonna yank it out of the ear. But anyway, hi friends, happy Thursday. Mother of God, please, dogs bark. Please do it, just bark all day. But by the title of this video, you can tell that I'm going to talk about some of the pet peeves that I have from working at Starbucks. And let me start this off by saying I absolutely love my job at Starbucks, and I would never trade it for like anything. I absolutely love it. But there are things that I hate about working there, and it's mainly the people. And that just, it's mainly the people, and this kind of goes for like anybody in the customer service like industry at all. Some of them are pet peeves and others just kind of crack me up. Like, it's just funny, and nothing is like so bad that I would want to quit or anything. It's just things that are like, really? Without further ado, let's get started. I just got the worst headache, but like these can be translatable to like everywhere, like customer service wise. When somebody comes up to me and I go into my, oh hi, how are you? Or they'll say it to me and I'll like respond, but they're already like going into their order about their grande white chocolate mocha with an extra shot of blah blah. When they ask me how I am and I'm like, I'm good, how are you? They're like, I want a grande pike. And I'm like, that's a cool mood to be in, friend. Or I think it's funny when somebody asks me how I am and then I'm like, I'm good, how are you? And they're like, I want a oh, good, thanks for asking. Like, did you not expect a response? Because you asked me a question, therefore I'm gonna give you an answer. I absolutely hate when you're like still ringing up their, like the person's order, and they just throw their card or cash just on the counter for you to pick up. Like, because you're taking too long or whatever. Like, do you want to make that much of a statement, or are you just that lazy that you can't just like hold on for another 2 seconds for me to like extend my hand? Or like when I am extending my hand and they just kind of throw it on the counter, I'm like, cool, put this away because I guess I don't need it anymore. I hate it when somebody like doesn't even make eye contact with me. Like, they're either on their phone or they're on the like texting wise, or they're like on the phone and they're not even looking at me, and then they're like, they say their order, and then I'm like, if I have a question about it, I have to like sit there and be like, hey, look at me right now. Hey, don't look down, look at me. It's the simplest thing to just look at somebody. Like, you don't even have to look at me in the eyes, just like look in my general direction. Like, I hate it when somebody is like rude off the bat. Like, they're just in a pissy freaking mood and nothing that you can do like can make it any better, and any kind of positivity you throw at them, they just kind of turn it around and throw it back like negativity in your face. I hate when somebody is being impatient when it is clearly busy and or we are clearly understaffed. When people ask, is it gonna take long, when we only have 3 people on the floor and we're swamped busy? Yeah, it might take a few minutes. I hate when people like, okay, this happens not that often anymore, but occasionally one of our espresso machines will like have some issues and we can't use it. We have 2 espresso machines, and if one goes down and it's the morning rush, it is aggravating. All of the drinks, instead of being split between 2 machines, have to go just through 1 machine. And it takes a little bit longer. And we put up signs and we let people know we only have 1 machine, it might take a little bit longer. And people get upset and they're like, well, why is it taking so long? Or, well, my drink should have been out already, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we only have 1 machine. You had the chance to see the sign, realize that maybe your drink isn't gonna get to you as fast as you'd like it, and then turn around and go to one of the other million Starbucks around here. The next part is my favorite, is when people order and you know that they have no idea what they're ordering. The other day I had a guy order a tall vanilla latte with cream and sugar, and I just wanted to be like, no, that's not what you want. You want a vanilla latte, because that comes with milk and vanilla syrup, which is sugar. If you want a brewed coffee, that is black coffee, and then you want cream and sugar. If you want a latte, that comes with milk already. You can have us add sugar to it. Generally, any sort of specialty lattes, vanilla lattes, anything, yes, cream and sugar is already in there. You don't need to worry about it. I had one lady ask me, I think it was this morning, she was like, how many shots of espresso comes in a frappuccino? I was like, we actually don't put espresso in our frappuccinos. We put our this frap roast coffee base kind of stuff in it. And she's like, well, yeah, but how many shots would go in there? I'm like, we don't put shots of espresso in our frappuccinos. It's not a default. And she's like, well, let's just do 2. I'm like, were you asking me my preference or what other people get? Because I'm really confused. I've never had somebody order this, but I've heard of people ordering it, and it used to be a thing, I think. But iced cappuccinos? The point of a cappuccino is technically 1/3 espresso, 1/3 milk, and 1/3 foam, which theoretically it should not come in a venti size, because then we should do like a whole bunch of espresso, a whole bunch of milk, and a whole bunch of foam. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But an iced cappuccino would technically, apparently you would like steam milk and like scoop the foam and put it on top of the iced latte. I don't know, we don't do it anymore, and if people order it, I'm like, but why though? I had one lady come in, she's like, can I get a grande caramel frappuccino iced? And I'm like, it's actually blended ice. She's like, oh, I'm like, what did you think a frappuccino was? I remember the first time somebody ordered one of these, I was in drive-thru. They're like, can I get a decaf, non-fat, no foam latte? And I just looked at somebody and I was like, this person wants to think that they want a coffee, but in reality, they really just want us to piss in a cup and give it to them. I'm sorry, but decaf, non-fat, no foam. You were taking every good aspect of a latte and just throwing it out the window. Why? Another thing that cracks me up is when people think that Starbucks is some sort of gourmet, like, eatery. Like, one lady came in, or came through the drive-thru and asked, like, dead serious, asked if we had French marmalade. I don't even think a place that specializes in marmalades would have French marmalade. I'm just gonna throw that out there, because why would Starbucks have French marmalade? That is very specific. I'm sorry, we have sriracha. We specialize in coffee, and we have breakfast sandwiches and pastries as like a complement to the coffee, but we mainly sell coffee. That's why it's Starbucks coffee. And a couple little last closing statements. Yes, lattes have espresso. Mochas have espresso. Cappuccinos have espresso. It is espresso. E-S-P-R-E-S-S-O. There's no X in there. It is not espresso. To reiterate my point in the beginning, I absolutely love Starbucks as a company and as an employer and as just an overall business. And I don't want to leave Starbucks anytime soon, because it's so much fun to work there. But there are things that just get under my skin. But it's fun because after a long day and after like all of these things happening, I could just come home and laugh about it because it's just laughable. Most of these things are just like funny little pet peeves. Nothing, no long-lasting hatred for any of these things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. If you like more videos like this, let me know. We can make more of them. And we will see you all next week. Bye, friends.